And as I said, tomorrow, if I want to say to Oinata tonight, I'm going to start there. There will be a formal investigation of Hardwood Housing. The only outstanding issue is when. But there will be one. The file on Hardwood Housing will not be closed. And if Oinata does not investigate Hardwood Housing, then the next Democratic Labour Party government will, in 6 months of being elected to office, investigate it. So when I call for a forensic audit into the operations and the business practices of Hardwood Housing, you can see why I asked. Because there is plenty of information. But I have reason to believe that all I know, they are working on doctoring the computers and meddling with the company records so that Barbados cannot get a true picture of what has been going on at Hardwood Housing Inc. Oinata knows tonight that he is batting on a slippery wicket, and that is why he left Clyde Maskell out there to the wolves. I wrote Oinata a letter, and he instructed, read what the letter said. Let me see if I find it, because I found that most interesting. I have been instructed by the Right Honourable Prime Minister Owen S. Arthur to respond to your letter of October 4th, 2007. The Prime Minister gave him my letter and told him, you reply to this. I want nothing to do with that. And I am saying that the response that Maskell gave to me is a document that must form a central part of any investigation into this company. The powers that be in the Barbados Labour Party have made it clear that Maskell is by himself on this Hardwood issue. And I'm saying to you tonight that there are more questions than answers in relation to Hardwood Housing. I'm saying tonight that as chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, my hands are tied. The Public Accounts Committee cannot investigate until accounts have been laid. And I have been able, as opposition leader and as a parliamentarian, to get more information through the back door than as chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. If I was chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, I could never get this information. And I'm saying to Oinata tonight that he needs to untie my hands by filing the accounts of Hardwood Housing, by laying them in Parliament and letting the investigation start. So the minister and the spin doctors, including somebody writing under the pen name of a Mr. Albert Branford, has said that Hardwood Housing is owned by government. There's nothing in the record of Hardwood Housing to suggest that it is owned by government. But if Albert Branford says so, I presume it is so. Because Albert Branford knows everything that Clyde Maskell knows, and vice versa. I have never met two individuals, not even Siamese twins or clones, who think, write and act more alike than Clyde Maskell and Albert Branford. And if I didn't know better, I would think that when it comes to writing columns in the papers of Barbados, that Albert Branford and Clyde Maskell are one and the same person. But I understand there's a press conference tomorrow, and I want these questions answered. I welcome the press conference, and I'm going to say to Maskell, get your pen and paper now and write the questions down, because I know you're pimping around out there. That is in your personality. I don't go to Barbados Labour Party meetings. One, where are the 500 houses that you say Mr. Murrell supervised in Grenada located? What was the specific role Mr. Murrell in Operation Mobilization played in Grenada? How long was his tour of duty? Two, where are the share certificates to show that the Crown owns 90% of Hardwood Housing Factory Inc? Three, are you insisting that there were no illegal, non-national workers employed by Hardwood Housing Factory Inc, even after what I have said here tonight? Four, has Hardwood Housing Factory Inc., A and C Equipment Rentals, or any related person made any direct cash payment to you or through a third party. 5. Who does the commercial building belong to? From which account are Petamber Sobadeo and Neville D'Souza paid to work on this commercial building? Will you state categorically that no material or equipment from Hardwood Housing Factory Inc. was used on the commercial building? 6. What was your response in your capacity as parliamentary representative to female constituents who complained of sexual assault on the job at Hardwood Housing Inc.? Are you aware of financial offers made to sweep these matters under the carpet? 7. Will you provide the tender documents in respect of the 4 pavilions and all other government projects earmarked and allocated to Hardwood Housing Factory Inc.? So tonight, my submission to Owen Arthur on the issue of Hardwood Housing is simple. If Hardwood Housing is not government owned, then I want an investigation into the spending of government's money and the money of the people of Barbados on this company. I want to know where the $2 million that government pumped into that company has gone. I want an account of the money spent, and I want a response on the other issues that I've raised in relation to the questionable practices, both business and labor, of this business. But alternatively, if Hardwood Housing is government owned, I want audited financial statements laid in Parliament so that in my capacity as chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, I can put on my other cap and get down to business. Either way, I am giving Owen Arthur 30 days from tonight to come up with the financials of Hardwood Housing, or the same 30 days to initiate a full investigation by an independent forensic mind, with which I must agree, into the operation of Hardwood Housing. And when those 30 days are over, if neither of those things is done, then my first act in this regard as leader of the opposition will be to move a formal motion in the House of Assembly for a vote of no confidence against Clyde Maskell in the Parliament of this country. And the lead up to that vote shall be unprecedented in terms of campaigning by the Democratic Labour Party. So my friends, this is but the end of round 1 in what I call Operation Return of Good Governance to Barbados and integrity to this country. Fasten your seatbelts. We are in for very exciting times in the politics of this country. Good night to all of you. God bless you, and get home safely. I thank you.